Mind health questions required.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. It's March 10th. It's 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. And it's the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Now, if you're not consuming the show today on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, boy, you missed the boat. Because I look about as good as I could possibly look. Bart Scott just said it beautifully. I'm wearing a casket suit. You could bury me in this baby. I'm doing a Q&A later for the kids at Chaminade High School at the New York Athletic Club, so I have to be all dressed up. But really, if you have time, get by a computer over these next 2 hours just to take a look. Just soak it all in. Just soak it all in, my friend. All right, we're going to start off with the Knicks, who, while you were sleeping, lost to the Clippers. So they lost their Los Angeles back-to-back. And I'll say this about the Knicks. It's the best way that I can articulate it. They can win a championship this year. They can. And they could lose in the first round. They could lose to absolutely anybody. And they could beat absolutely anybody. They're almost like a macrocosm of Mikal Bridges. Some days they look unbeatable, and some days they look awful. So they looked awful against the Lakers, and yesterday against the Clippers, they turned the ball over so many times once again, and it's hard to win games that way. They're not taking care of the basketball. They wasted an over 30-point outing by Karl Anthony Towns, who surprisingly had not scored that many points since December. So we're closing in on 3 months that he had not scored over 30 points. This is one of the great scoring big men that you'll ever see. But in this Knick offense, he is kind of neutered just a little bit. They're not getting him the ball as much. He doesn't take as many shots. But since the offense has gone south the last couple of days, they did turn to Towns, and he actually did score at a high clip. But they're a frustrating team to watch. They really are, because you just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, just look at the last 3 games. On Friday against Denver, they look like world beaters that you couldn't see them losing to anybody. Anybody. And the one game that they had lost in this stretch that we call a litmus test stretch was to OKC, and they lost by 3. And OKC is arguably the best team in the NBA. They lost by 3. Could have won that game. Shots weren't falling at the end. They could have won the game. They didn't. And then they go to L.A., and they're slow, and they look lazy. And they're not a lazy team, but they were probably fatigued. They played a lot of basketball. And then they get a back-to-back right after that. They don't have to travel that much. It's still in L.A. And then they're in it until the end, and they miss threes. And when they miss threes, they're really not a great offensive team, and they end up losing to the Clippers. So now there are 16 games remaining, and I wouldn't panic at all, because the Knicks now play the junior varsity part of their schedule. Utah's up next. That shouldn't be an issue. They're going to play bad teams. So when we sit back and we try to evaluate what the Knicks are about, it's hard to tell. You know, they do play well against good teams. They don't play great on the road. They're about a 500 team on the road. They dominate at home. And then they beat up on the bad teams. And that's really the formula. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, they don't do as well against good teams as they should. I think everybody's a little bit wrong about that. Great teams playing great teams usually split. And then you're supposed to get fat on the bad teams. And the Knicks, other than that game against Indiana, where Indiana just shocked them at the Garden, I was actually at that game with my son, they do beat up on the bad teams. And they're going to face only good teams in the postseason, and they'll make it, whether or not they're a 3rd seed or a 4th seed. And there's still a chance that they could be a 2 seed. Because, as I've said, they have 16 games remaining, and most of them are against bad teams that they should beat. Most of them are against teams that don't want to win. And there's an outside chance that they could still finish first because Detroit continues to stub its toe. I mean, they lost to the Nets. The Nets don't beat anybody, although they won again yesterday against Memphis. So the Nets win their share. I don't think they're tanking to the extent that Utah is. I just don't think the Nets are a very good team. Utah could be a better team, but they're choosing to try to get as many losses as they could and then accrue the ping pong balls that you want. So it's frustrating if you're a Knicks fan. It has to be because you feel alive like after the Friday game against Denver. You watch them and go, wow. And at times they are a wild team. And then you watch them against the Lakers, who are not they're not a pushover. You watch them against the Lakers and they're reaching in defensively. They were awful, a step slow. And then yesterday they got outplayed by the Clippers, who also are not terrible. They were better when they had Harden, but they still have a great player in Kawhi Leonard, and they lose. On to Utah. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would probably put a lot of money on the Knicks. I don't know what the spread is yet, but when the game comes about, we'll tell you what the spread is. And sometimes it looks like a sure thing, and then you go that way, and then you get fooled, and the Knicks end up losing. I don't think they'll lose to Utah. Whether or not they'll cover or not, that's a different story. I'm sure they'll run hard practices and things like that. But, the last two games, one of the things that you do get concerned about, we talked about this a lot yesterday, another bad outing by Mikal Bridges. So I said the Knicks are a macrocosm of Mikal, and Mikal's a microcosm of them, but more so. Because I think for the most part, the Knicks are good most of the time. They'll throw in a clunker every now and then, which will humble you, but most of the time, they're a really good team. Mikal Bridges, most of the time, is mid, then he has a great game, and then he disappears. So I believe against the Lakers, I know he had 0 points. And then against the Clippers, I believe yesterday he had 6 points. It's not good. It's not good. 1-800-919-3776. Again, the way you have to look at this Knicks team, good enough to beat anybody and inconsistent enough to lose to anybody. So if their first-round opponent is Toronto, which would be if they finish fourth, then you feel good about things because they beat up on Toronto. If they finish third, it could get difficult. You could lose to Philadelphia in the first round. You could lose to Orlando in the first round. And if they finish second, and we went over this yesterday, and there's a great story in the Athletic by James Edwards III about it. The number 2 spot is fraught with peril as well because some of those teams that could be coming out of the play-in could be pesky. And the way it looks like the Knicks are going to end up finishing with the number 3 spot. And there's no pushover there either. No pushover. It could be Philly. Could be Philly. You want the best place for them to finish is fourth because then that would be Toronto. That would end up being Toronto. We'll get to your phone calls in just a moment. 1-800-919-3776. After we got off the air yesterday, Adam Silver did the right thing. Released a statement, and he said that they are going to not have the Magic City promotion in Atlanta. And the thing that's stunning to me is how so many people are against what the NBA did. That the NBA was wrong. And they're trying to equate it, which a caller yesterday brought up, Mike from New Jersey, that, okay, but gambling's okay. No, listen, the world is topsy-turvy. What we looked at 10 years ago there's no way that would happen. It happens all the time. So, yeah, it's hard to adjust to the fact that gambling is legal, and it's a big part of sports. And that's something that you have to explain to your younger kids as well. The allegiance to the Magic City endeavor, it's a rough one to really wrap your mind around. So Michelle Beadle, who's been a longtime friend of mine, destroyed the NBA for it. She's saying, don't tell women what they should or shouldn't do. Don't try to protect women. And listen, I understand where Michelle's coming from, but that's not what I was preaching. I mean, these women, that work at Magic City or any strip club, they do so because they want to. And you would hope that they're not beholden to anybody or they're forced to do that. They do that because that's a way to earn a living. And, whether you want to say that's honorable or not, that's for everybody individually to make that decision. To me, I have no problem with it. If they do it with free will, go for it. If you're going to have stupid men pay to have you strip, why not? And if you take that money and invest it, you probably never have to work again. The amount of money that a beautiful woman could make as a stripper. That was not my issue. My issue was, why is the NBA, a team, aligning itself to honor or have a day for a strip club? And everybody keeps pushing back. It's, you don't understand the culture in Atlanta. I don't think I have to understand the culture. It's a strip club. I've never seen any kind of professional sports team align itself to have a night to celebrate a strip club. You can talk all about the lemon pepper wings, which are amazing. And, it's a gathering place for a lot of people in Atlanta. They go to their hangout, and a lot of rap acts have gotten their break there. I understand all of it. But when you break it all down to its purest form, it's a strip club. It's a strip club. And I am by no means saying that there shouldn't be strip clubs. I've told you this before. I am not someone who wastes my money on strip clubs. I think it truly is a waste of money. Because for the most part, you go in there and you're not leaving with one of the strippers. So you're getting yourself all worked up for what? Just to be frustrated and spend money and be frustrated? That was never for me. But I don't look down my nose at people that like it. I also have a friend, I'm not going to say his name because he'd be mortified. He had this unbelievable, I don't know if skill is the right word. He would go into strip clubs. And listen, he's no George Clooney either. He's an okay-looking guy, but he's not like going to stop a room when he walks in. He would walk into a strip club, and invariably he would walk out with one of the strippers. So to him, it was worth the money. It was an investment in his rap, and it worked for him. And it happened way more times for it to be an accident. It was a feature. It was not a glitch. He walked into a strip club, and he came out with one of the strippers. So you want to go to a strip club? Have a great time. You're not going to see Michael K. there. I'm going to tell you a story that I've never told on the air before, and it's kind of embarrassing. I was out with a bunch of people a couple of years after I graduated from Fordham, and it was kind of like not a bachelor party, but a guy was getting married, and we all went out. We went out to dinner, and they decided to go to a strip club. And we were all in one car. And so I was kind of caught in there, and I sat in the car. I didn't go in. I know it makes me sound weird, right? Because I'm not in a goody two shoes by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm uncomfortable in strip clubs. I've been there. Like when the Yankees moved to Tampa, there seemed to be at that time, like in 1996, more strip clubs per mile than McDonald's. I mean, it was the capital of strip clubs. And so, I mean, that was the thing. Everybody went out, and, I would go there. And here's the weirdest thing. I don't know if you people feel like this. I didn't know where to look. I mean, I know where to look, but I didn't want to, make the young woman who's stripping feel uncomfortable. I mean, imagine that was going through my mind. Because you're gonna stare, obviously, at their chest, but I didn't want to get caught staring at their chest. And it was awkward for me. It's always been awkward for me. So I never go. But I don't pass judgment on people that go. Whatever makes you happy that's legal, go do it. Go do it. And I'm not disparaging the strip clubs in Atlanta, which I guess the one thing I'm missing is part of the culture down there. I'm just saying that it was needless for the Hawks to throw a night for them. They're still going to serve their lemon pepper wings at the game next Monday, and T.I. is going to perform a halftime show, but they're not going to sell the merchandise, the sweatshirts and whatever, the Magic City sweat. They're not going to do that, And I give Adam Silver credit because he heard what Luke Cornett said. And the thing that Luke Cornett said, I'm not subscribing to that. And I think that's what Michelle Beadle was pushing back on. We should protect women and we shouldn't women are strong. And nobody is forcing a woman to be a stripper, I would think. They're doing it maybe out of necessity because they need the money or out of choice. So the protection of women, that's not why I push back on what the Hawks are doing. I think it's a bad look to align yourself with a strip club. It just is. Just is. So Silver did it. He heard the outcry over it. I don't think this had anything to do with Cornette, but maybe other teams said, what are they doing? Kind of putting us in an uncomfortable situation. Cornette might have spoken for some players, but I'd say, I don't know, maybe I'm pushing it. 55%, I'm being nice here because I don't want to get ripped. I'd say 55% of NBA players have probably gone to strip clubs. Now, 55% go to strip clubs. Probably 95% at one point in their life have gone to a strip club. So what Luke Cornett said, that's his argument. That's not my argument. Don't make it out to be that. My argument is, this is, when you have a sports team, I don't buy into, well, it's a civic trust. It's the family that owns it. It's their business. But children do go. And you're going to have uncomfortable discussions with your child all the time. All the time. You just are. But you want those to be necessary, not going through, the turnstile at the arena in Atlanta and, Dad, what is Magic City? And then you have to sit down and there's strippers there. Well, what are strippers? Well, women take off their clothes. Well, why do they do that? I'm not ready for that. I'll have it when I have to have it. I mean, I've heard from people the most uncomfortable conversation you could have with your kid is birds and bees. I mean, my son's 11, so I guess I don't have to go there yet. And, to be honest with you, I think they find out on their own. Every mother and father that have that uncomfortable discussion with their child, it's probably a waste of time. They probably learn all about it in school. And there are classes in school that they teach you about it. So I don't think you have to have that uncomfortable conversation. But again, when you have an uncomfortable conversation, you want it to be a necessity, not collateral damage to take a kid to a basketball game. 1-800-919-3776. So I ripped Adam Silver yesterday for not doing the right thing, so I praise him today for doing the right thing. I don't know what moved him to do it, but he did end up doing it. Let's go to Ernest in Brooklyn. Ernest.
Hey, how you doing, Kay?
What's going on?
Love your commentary.
Thank you.
Before I get to that, I wanted to say one thing to you. I have 3 kids, and they're in their 30s. But when they were a kid, you know how I introduced them to sex?
How?
We watched those, what do you call it, Wild Kingdom and all that, where the animals were out, and then you explained it.
Really? And they understood what was going on.
It's a natural thing about supporting and all of that. But besides that, I don't agree with you with the Knicks. I really, really thought that they should have gotten Giannis before the trade deadline because, to me, we're going to the summer. That should be their main priority. I would jettison Cat and one other player for Giannis. I think that's their missing piece because, I'm sorry, Cat, he's got a poor NBA IQ. He does stupid fouls, and he plays no defense. Giannis answered both questions if he goes to the Knicks. I just want to hear your thoughts.
Well, first of all, you can't force a team to make a trade. So I don't think that Cat would have gotten it done. Cat and another player, I don't think it would have gotten it done because if Milwaukee ends up trading Giannis, they're trading Giannis for the future. So they want draft picks. They want a truckload of draft picks, which brings us back to the Mikal Bridges trade. The Knicks had that treasure trove of picks, but if they made the trade before the trade deadline, I'm sure they looked into it. They only had 1 first-round draft pick to give. That was not going to be enough. So it would have had to be a 3 or a 4-team trade where you trade Cat to another team and try to get draft picks from that team and then shuffle them over to Milwaukee. He didn't get traded. So if he had gotten traded, Ernest, then we could say, well, the Knicks should have made that trade. He didn't get traded. You can't force the Milwaukee Bucks to make a trade. What Milwaukee is hoping is that Giannis stays, which he did. They win the lottery. They end up getting A.J. DeBanza. And then they go to Giannis. Look, this could be a good team right away. We have a difference maker that we got in the draft. And with you and the other players around it, like Miles Turner or whatever, we could be good. And then he decides not to ask for a trade. And another thing that I push back against, I would look at it this way. I don't love getting a player that important that would change the way the team plays at the trade deadline, because there's not enough time to make that team cohesive. It's just not. Because take a look. The Knicks brought in a new coach, and we're how many months into the season? 16 games left in the season, and they're still a work in progress trying to figure things out. So if you would remove Cat and let's say for argument's sake, OG. I would never trade OG, even in a trade for Giannis. But you remove both of them and you brought in Giannis. All of a sudden, the whole thing changes. And you've got to figure it out in about 25 games. So I said at the time I wouldn't have made the deal. And I don't think they had the proper capital to make the deal. In the offseason, then I would try to make the deal. Because they're going to have another draft pick that they could trade. So you could have 2 first-round draft picks. Maybe you could trade Cat to another team, get a couple more, and then you got 4 that you could send to Milwaukee. And Giannis controls the whole deal, Ernest. If Giannis says, I'm going to the Knicks, then he's going to the Knicks. Because anybody that trades for him, he has 1 year before he can opt out of his contract. So if he doesn't want to go there, go, listen, you're going to give up all of this capital to the Bucks. I'm not re-signing here. And he can say to the Bucks, I will re-sign with the Knicks. So he controls everything, and the Knicks just have to get enough on the plate to send to Milwaukee. But I don't have a problem with the fact that they didn't get him at the trade deadline because maybe he wasn't gettable. David, on the east side.
All right, Michael, I agree. You hit the nail on the head. This Knicks team is good enough to beat anyone and inconsistent enough to lose to anyone. Mike Brown, for better or worse, has turned them into every other modern NBA team where you live or die by the 3. In the last 2 games against the Lakers and the Clippers, they died by the 3. So say what you will about Tibbs. He didn't do that, right? He was an old school coach. He ran his players into the ground. I get it. He didn't make adjustments. He didn't use his bench. But he was a better fit for this roster. The Knicks are not the Celtics or the Warriors. I don't see them winning a championship by sinking a ton of threes.
And even teams that sink threes, like Boston, they ended up losing to the Knicks because the threes didn't fall. So when you're a team that's predicated on hitting threes, there are going to be nights, even on wide open looks, that you're not going to hit those shots. You're just not. And I think you have to come to grips with that. There has to be a plan B to be able to score. But I don't think these teams that predicate their offense on threes have a plan B. They don't want a plan B. Because if you keep missing shots, you know what they say? Keep taking them. Keep taking them. And that's what the Knicks are. That's what the Celtics are. The Pistons aren't so much that kind of team. They aren't so much that kind of team. One of the more frustrating things to me in watching the NBA, and I love NBA basketball, is that you see guys drive to the lane and they have a clear lane to the hoop for an easy 2, and they just kick it out for 3. That's what the league is. I think there has to be a reckoning at some point, and I don't know if it's going to happen because there are a lot of players that are on a lot of teams because of their ability to shoot threes, that you should contain the 3-point shot to maybe the last 3 minutes of each half. Let them play basketball. And then if you have 3-point specialists, let them come in and shoot those threes at that time. Because with the 3 being available all the time, that's all the league is. And you can't tell me that basketball is as beautiful and aesthetically pleasing as it used to be. You just can't. It's guys lining up outside that line and firing up a tray. That's it. Forget about moving the ball and things like that, creating openings in the lane. The pick and roll doesn't even work that much because that sometimes results in a 3 where you're rolling to the basket, you get the ball, and you kick it out to the corner. I don't think it's beautiful basketball, but I don't think they'll ever change it. I think they should. I think it would help the league. I really do. You'd see more basketball skills. Now it's a shooting competition. It's not basketball skills. It's a shooting competition. 1-800-919-3776. We'll get back to your phone calls. Got some stuff on the WBC as well. We'll check in on NFL free agency in the 2 o'clock hour. A lot of stuff to do. We want you to do it with us right here on the K Show. Obviously, we roll till 3. Don Hahn and Rosenberg take over at that time. Hey, FanDuel giving all customers a profit boost every single day through March 15th. From now till that final 68 is revealed, you're getting daily profit boosts for a chance at boosted winnings on your college basketball bets. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single day. Build a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout, or try live betting and jump in after tip-off. Best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Attention New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios Home Internet for an incredible $20 a month guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with AutoPay, mobile and home discount enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios base monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
Become a Yankees Universe Fan Club member today. The Rookie and Explorer packages are now available. All Yankees Universe members receive a membership card, 2 tickets to a 2026 Yankees home game, access to a members-only website, and MLB audio at bat. Plus, Rookie members get an official New York Yankees t-shirt. A portion of all proceeds benefits pediatric cancer research at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Join Yankees Universe today at yankees.com/universe.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
Welcome back to the show. Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. The Yankees are playing the Phillies right now, and the Mets are playing the Cardinals right now in spring training action. 7 p.m., the Rangers host the Flames at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN New York. 7:30, Islanders are in St. Louis to play the Blues. Boy, they've been on the road a lot. Must be some great stuff going on at UBS. 7:30, the Nets are hosting the Pistons at Barclays Center. Can the Pistons lose twice to the Nets in less than a week? Can they? That game will be on the Yes Network. And 9 p.m., United States plays Italy in the World Baseball Classic. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. So quick story that I think has some strange ramifications. So yesterday, the United States beat Mexico 5-3. Roman Anthony with a 3-run home run, Judge with a 2-run home run, Paul Skeens pitched very well starting for them. But everything that happened on the field kind of takes a back seat. What happened at home plate? So on the Mexico team is Randy Arozarena, who's a member of the Seattle Mariners. He's a real, I like him. He's a good player. He really is. And then behind the plate for Team USA is Cal Raleigh, the runner-up in the MVP, hit 60 home runs last year, one of the better players in baseball and a great defensive player. And he's a member of the Seattle Mariners, but he's the catcher for Team USA. Well, Arozarena comes up to the plate and holds out his hand to shake hands with his teammate, Cal Raleigh. And Raleigh does not move his hand. And you can see Arozarena is absolutely stunned. So then he leans in, and Raleigh says something, and then Arozarena holds out a fist, and again, Raleigh doesn't move. And, as my daughter would say, awkward. I mean, it was really weird because I understand how important the WBC is to these guys. I get it. But you're going to spend most of the next 7 months in the same room with each other. Not Team Mexico, not Team USA. You are teammates for 6 months during the regular season, and if it goes the way you think it's going to go, remember they went to Game 7 of the ALCS last year, Seattle. It's going to be close to 7 months together. And you just blew off your teammate. Now, there are a lot of angles that people are taking on this. Well, there's a rule that if the catcher has any kind of pine tar on his hand, that he could get thrown out of the game because you could doctor up the baseball and throw it to Skeens, and he could then use the sticky stuff to throw better pitches. No one in the WBC has been thrown out of a game, no catcher, because of pine tar on their hand. All right, and let's just say that that's actually what Raleigh said to Arozarena. Maybe it is. Well, then Arozarena wanted to fist bump him. There's no pine tar on your knuckles. None. You could fist bump Arozarena. He chose not to do that. Or you could do like a bash, like the Bash brothers used to do, McGuire and Canseco. And that's a greeting with each other. Now you can say, well, Kay's blowing something out of proportion. No, Kay's not. Because Arozarena did an interview with a Spanish language, I think it was a television station, which has since been interpreted, and he is red hot at Cal Raleigh. Essentially saying, he can drop dead for what he did. I mean, he's really, really angry. And he said nice things he said the best thing that Cal Raleigh has going for him is his parents are great people. He was raised by great people because his parents saw him in the hotel and greeted him warmly, and Arozarena said that was great. But then when he talked about Raleigh, the way it's been translated, either it's a wrestling work, which I don't think it is, or he's really, really upset with Raleigh. And the only thing I could think of as this is unfolding, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to say on the air about it. So the United States might end up playing the Dominican Republic. And the catcher for the Dominican Republic is Austin Wells. Right? And let's say Aaron Judge comes up in the first inning and he extends his hand to Wells, and Wells pulls what Raleigh did. There'd be a problem. I mean, Wells might be released by the Yankees within 3 minutes if he did that to Aaron Judge. Now, Randy Arozarena is not Aaron Judge, but he deserves respect from a teammate who just wanted to say, hey, good game. You see guys come up to the plate all the time. They'll tap the catcher's shin guard as if to say, hey, have a good one. I mean, we're not at war. I know you're wearing your country's title on the chest. I get that. We're not at war. There are not lives at stake. You don't blow off your teammate because you're so locked in for Team USA. And again, maybe Raleigh will speak on it and say it was all about the pine tar. I think that's nonsense. I really do. I think he showed up Arozarena for no reason whatsoever. And I'll tell you what, it just makes the WBC even more compelling. More compelling. Right now, if the United States beats Italy at 9 p.m. tonight, they automatically advance to the next round. But if they lose, they're 3-0. If they lose, well, then their fate is not in their hands anymore. Other teams could get in ahead of them. So it's important that they beat Team Italy, whose manager is Francisco Cervelli, and Francisco Cervelli's bench coach happens to be Jorge Posada. But I'm wondering what you guys and gals think about what Raleigh did to Arozarena. That to me, it's stunning. Because if you're worried about the pine tar, right? If you're worried about that, then just fist bump him. Touch elbows, whatever the case may be. But he didn't even get out of his crouch. It's like, no, you're the enemy now. Grow up. He's the enemy now. He's your teammate. He's your teammate for longer than the WBC guys are going to be your teammates. Come on. Don't get it. Don't understand it. Never will. Let's go to Chris in Bayside. Chris.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, I wanted to make a point about the Magic City thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so people have made a counterpoint that there's a lot of gambling going on, or a lot of gambling advertising in sports. That's something that's that the kids are exposed to, which I think is a decent point. But I do think that there's a real difference. And so you might encourage your kid to gamble. You might teach them how to download the app or put it in a parlay. If your kid gets old enough and they're going to Vegas, you say, oh, stay here, play this game. But no one encourages their daughter to be a stripper.
Well, I don't think anybody encourages their daughter or son to gamble either. And it was brought up yesterday. The gambling thing is a legitimate point, and all the teams are in bed with it. And it's according to how you view gambling and how you view stripping, if it's the same kind of thing. Now, in a perfect world, would gambling be involved in sports? No. But there is no perfect world, because even if there weren't apps, if there wasn't a FanDuel, if all of that, there'd be illegal gambling. There's always been illegal gambling all the time. All the time. And the teams are making money off their partnership with the gambling sites. What's the Atlanta Hawks benefit of highlighting a strip club? Steve in Queens. Steve?
Yeah, Michael, you just said it. If the NFL, the NBA could monetize stripping, they'd have strippers at halftime.
You're right.
I mean, let's face it, Adam Silver's not righteous, and I agree with your point. But Adam Silver's not righteous. It's pressure.
Yes.
And like I said, if they could, the NBA has had refs throw games, players throw games, coaches have just been indicted for throwing games. I think gambling's a lot more serious, even though I agree with you.
Well, I think gambling is more serious than strip clubs. I really do, especially if you can co-opt players and coaches to do terrible things like throw games, because the integrity of the sport, of any sport, is the most important thing. You have to know that each and every result is honest. And if you lose that trust in it, then you lose a lot of what the sport's about. But you're right. They monetize gambling. They make money off gambling. What are the Hawks making off of the Magic City allegiance? I don't get it. I don't, and to the Hawks' credit, Jamie Gertz is part of the ownership. They said that they're really disappointed with the decision, but they respect it. And whether or not Adam Silver's righteous or not, obviously he got pressure from somebody or from somewhere, because the commissioner works at the behest of the other owners. Now everybody tries to make it out to be some kind of a exalted position where he could tell owners to do what he wants them to do. No, he can't. He works for them. So maybe other owners got together and said, this is ridiculous. And there are a lot of stories out there, a lot of columns. Why are they doing this? It doesn't seem like the right thing to do. So whether he's righteous or not, he deserves credit for actually making that decision. Gregory in New York. Greg.
Yeah, what's going on, Mike?
Hey, Greg.
Long time, first time.
Oh, thank you. What's up?
Yeah, I just about the Cal Raleigh situation with Arozarena.
Right.
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Well, Arozarena does.
Well, I just remember what happened with Kobe Bryant and Paul Gasol in the Olympics. Kobe said he was going to run right through him. Everybody in Team USA said, "No, you're not," and then he did it.
No, I understand that. I understand that, but I don't think. A simple handshake at the beginning of the game. I'm not saying that Cal Raleigh should groove a pitch to Arozarena. No, and Kobe was the ultimate competitor. So if he had to get through Paul Gasol, he's going to do it. But shaking the guy's hand, again, if you don't agree with my take on it, that's great. That's great. But please, if you have a chance, go find it on social media. The interpretation of what Arozarena said. This is a guy who is red hot. Again, maybe it's a work. Maybe they have. I don't know why Raleigh has to do that. Raleigh is a phenomenal player, one of the more popular players in MLB, runner-up in the MVP. A lot of people thought he should have won. I thought that the right guy won, but he doesn't have to be involved in a work like that. I don't think Arozarena does either. Read the words that Arozarena said. Again, Arozarena did the interview in Spanish. And you can look at the interview. He's not smiling. And the last thing he says, where he says something bad about Raleigh, he doesn't smile and he walks off the interview. Again, there's several sites that have moved it into English to tell you exactly what he said. And it doesn't seem like it's a great thing. Let's put it this way. Scott Service, the manager of the Mariners, might have to deal with this when the WBC is over. Hey, get ready, New York soccer fans. New York City FC is back at Yankee Stadium for a massive showdown against Inter Miami on Sunday, March 22nd, with kickoff set for 1 p.m. You don't want to miss this huge matchup. Be there when the boys in blue take the field against Miami. For your chance to be there in person, enter now at ESPNNewYork.com or through the ESPN New York app. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com/NYCFC. We'll be back. More of your phone calls, and we check in with our Jet and Giant beat reporters for ESPN at the 2 o'clock hour to find out their thoughts on what both teams have done so far in legal tampering free agency. K and U for 2 until 3, right here on ESPN New York.
To
Tuesday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Why are the Knicks consistently inconsistent?
To start the game, we couldn't hit the side of a barn. We had 18 or 19 turnovers last night. We had 20 tonight, for 24 points. And, they outscored us by 14 points just in that area alone.
What do the Giants and Jets still need to do in free agency? Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
The NBA moves fast, and the stars move faster. With DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, you're never a step behind. DraftKings keeps pace with every play, offering industry-leading live betting, dynamic odds that shift as the game unfolds, and more open markets more often. They're live when others aren't, so you're always in the game when it matters most. Get in on the action with live player props as the most exciting performances unfold in real time. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WHSQ. That's code WHSQ. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problems gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering 25% off windows and doors or 0% APR for 72 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends March 31st, 2026.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
All right, so here's some of the translation on what Arozarena said. I guess where Raleigh didn't get out of the crouch and wouldn't shake his hand, he said, "Good to see you," right? So this is what Arozarena's quote was. That "good to see you" that he said to me, he could shove it up his, and you can take that. And then commenting further on Raleigh not shaking his hand, he said he can F off and he can go to hell. Yeah, they're going to be in the same clubhouse. To me, that is Raleigh, as Don would say, being that guy. Oh, I'm locked in for Team USA. Nothing else matters. Come on. Shaking the guy's hand. As I said, you don't groove a pitch because he's your teammate. You're trying to get him out. You have to embarrass him when you get him out. That's fine. But to not shake his hand, to embarrass him like that, oh my goodness. What a misstep for Cal Raleigh, I think. Alan on the Upper West Side. Alan.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, I want to comment both on the Cal Raleigh thing and then also on the stripper stuff.
All right.
I tried to do a deep dive to see if maybe Cal Raleigh and Arozarena had a problem. And the only thing I can come up with is an article from about 11 months ago in Newsweek where a writer, Zach Presnell, said Mariners shockingly predict to cut ties with $11 million star outfielder after they sign Cal Raleigh to an extension. So I don't know if there's, something possibly from that. So that was that.
Well, wait a minute. So, I mean, the one that would be angry about that would be Arozarena, not Raleigh, right?
That's what I believe, too. But that was the only possible thing that I could come up with.
Yeah, I have not heard any kind of attention previously to this.
Okay, and then with the strip club thing, I'm 66. Haven't been to a strip club in about 30 years, and I feel the same way as you. I never went to strip clubs much, but I am 2 for 5, so I'm batting 400 of getting phone numbers of strippers.
No way. Alan, really? And did you call them?
Yeah.
Did you call them?
Yes, both of them. The first one, I was 24 years old. I went down to spring training. I played baseball, and I was in Tampa. So I met this girl, got her number, called, and she had a baby crying in the background. So at 24, you're not real interested in hooking up with a baby crying in the background. So 2 phone calls, and I was done with that. Then about 5 years later, I met somebody. I went to a club in Mount Vernon, got her number, and we ended up hooking up. So
Alan, wow, Alan, I'm telling you, Alan, 66, had game 30 years ago. Again, it's very, very rare to actually end up dating a stripper. And I put air quotes around date. And then you also have to, call into question, do you really want to? Is it more of a spectator sport at that point where you don't really want to get involved because you just don't want to get involved? Let's go to Jose in Connecticut. Jose.
Hey, what's up, Michael? By the way, man, you do look sharp. If people are not watching, you didn't lie. I had to check.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you.
This whole WBC stuff, I feel like we have this conversation every time, but I wanted to tell you a quick story because that inspired it. Is like my son, who's 12 now, is pretty good. He's really good. I was good in high school too, as well, but he stopped. He this year finally told me he doesn't want to play baseball anymore, and I asked him why.
Wow.
And he just said, "Hey, it's not fun anymore." And then I know from like watching I go to his practices, like he's like, like sometimes we get talked down to if we're having too much fun. And it's sad. It actually makes me really sad because, like I said, he has a lot of talent. He's going to stick to basketball. And that brought me, and then it's the first time he watches the WBC. He's been watching Puerto Rican. He's like, man, if it was like this, I would play. And it made me so mad. Like, it's like, why did you suck the fun out of the game so much? You know what I mean? So I wanted to ask you is, what do you think we could do? Because I feel like, and you've spoken about this many times, American baseball fans, we're so, like, stiff upper lip about our game. Like, oh, my God, it's tradition and it's no fun. Like, and it's like, how do we thread the needle to say it's okay to have fun and show off a little bit without me being disrespectful? But I feel like even like if you look at the WBC American team, they're like so militant and it's like I want to root for Team USA, but they're also not very likable right now. You hear about how they have interviews and Bryce Harper and then Schoolboy not playing. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like we got to do better if we want this game to keep getting played. Like my son doesn't want to play anymore. It makes me sad. As someone who played my whole life,
Well, I mean, it seems like other countries are much more demonstrative in the celebrations and stuff like that, and that's just part of the culture. And here in the States, I think it's kind of looked down upon just a little bit. I don't know if you could recreate the WBC atmosphere for a game in June, but I've been to World Series games, a lot of them. I've been very fortunate. And it's great atmosphere. Now, whether or not it can get to the atmosphere like it is in the WBC, I don't know. But I said this yesterday, Jose, and I truly believe it. You got to get the memo to the players. So I think a lot of players, the Latin players, they want to celebrate like that, but they also don't want to get a ball thrown into their ear. So everybody said, well, let the kids play. But when the kids play, the other kids don't like it. And having a son like who's going up through Little League now, there are some coaches that don't let you do that. My son was on a team, and the coach was great, but he would not let any of the kids show up the other team. And if you did, he took you out of the game. He just took you out of the game. I feel sorry for my kid because I don't want Charlie to show up somebody. And like in certain things, like, he sees things on TV and he wants to celebrate like that, even when he's playing basketball. And I always tell him, Charlie, you got to act like, you've been there before. And then Jody says, just let him have fun. And you know what? She's right. And I'm not going to say it anymore. He should have fun. But it's a delicate balance. I mean, are you showing up the other team? You could say, well, it's natural emotion, but the other team might think it's not. So the memo has to get to the players. Doesn't have to be the media. We don't have to agree with it. We don't have to sign off on it. Doesn't even have to be the fans. It has to be the players. They can't get their nose out of joint if the other guy does a bat flip and takes his time running the bases. But they do. They do. I've seen it. Either the next guy gets hit or the next time the guy who did it comes up, he gets hit. They got to get the memo to each other in order to put these celebrations into MLB. All right, we'll check in with both of our beat writers for the Giants and the Jets, see what they think what both teams have done so far, so stick around for that. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days if your bet loses. Now, here's how it works. Place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets every single day for 10 straight days. That's 10 chances to play all tourney long, from game props and money lines to spreads, totals, futures, and more. You can even mix things up with same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to fill out your bracket, FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the action day after day. So visit FanDuel.com/local to sign up today. FanDuel, it's time to dance. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Must apply select token each day. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, get Verizon Fios and a line of mobile for just $64.99 a month. Get Fios 300 megabit per second for $20 a month. And unlimited welcome for $45 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios Internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Plan prices require auto pay. Additional terms apply. For Welcome Unlimited, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity, designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Tuesday with Don Hahn and Rosenberg. Why are the Knicks consistently inconsistent?
To start the game, we couldn't hit the side of a barn. We had 18 or 19 turnovers last night. We had 20 tonight, for 24 points. And, they outscored us by 14 points just in that area alone.
What do the Giants and Jets still need to do in free agency? Don Hahn and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey team, Wendy here. If you're looking to consolidate your high-interest credit card debt with a personal loan, take a look at SoFi's stats. A SoFi personal loan comes with low fixed rates, no fees required, and as soon as same-day funding. That looks good on paper, but SoFi also passes the eye test. Having helped its members pay off over $33 billion in debt to date, score. View your rate for a SoFi personal loan at SoFi.com/stats today. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply at SoFi.com/stats. NMLS 696891.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hour 2 of our 2-hour radio program. Hope you're having a good day. It's a beautiful day outside. I don't even have a coat. Just have a suit on, walking in the streets like a gentleman, feeling great. Weather is gorgeous. Now, speaking of gorgeous, you've seen pictures of the guy who covers the Giants for ESPN, right? What a good-looking man. And he knows it, too. And that's Jordan Raanan. And he joins us now. Jordan, how you doing?
Michael, good afternoon.
I lost you
How's
there.
everything on your end?
Everything is
I
great.
got it. I'm outside, so I just had to put the AirPods in. That's why, because like you said,
it's gorgeous
beautiful.
out. You have to take advantage because it's going to be cold again on Friday. Anyway, before we start with the Giants, is there a problem between you and Dave? It seems like you and Rothenberg are butting heads a little bit, and it worries me because you're both friends.
Me and Dave?
Yeah, I heard when you were on the air, like
he
asked you a question that Rick didn't like and stuff. It got messy.
I think it's Rick that's the problem there. Not Dave. Me and Dave are good. You know, we always have that. Like I'm texting him moves before they happen. I give Dave all the inside info he wants. Rick just tries to get in the way.
Rick's
sabotage the relationship.
I will not have any kind of negativity about Rick. He's a great man, a great American.
I know you guys are like a secret team. I should have known.
Not even that secret. Not even that secret. All right,
That's true.
What are your thoughts on what the Giants have done? Have they improved a lot? Are they improving on the margins? What's your take?
I think they've improved, and I think the number one thing they've done is they've shaped the team around what John Harbaugh wants and what he's going to do, right?
Right.
Think about their biggest move. Their biggest move so far to date is signing Isaiah Likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
A tight end to their roster. They already have Theo Johnson on the roster, a guy that they like. What does that entail now? All right, we're going to see a lot of heavy formations, 2 tight ends. They're going to run the ball a lot, and they're going to work out of that. Like they basically traded a wide receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson, who plays out of the slot, who wasn't going to be used as much, for a tight end that they think, and this is what they're betting on, right, because they paid him a decent amount of money, is that Isaiah Likely, with a bigger opportunity in this system as sort of the go-to pass receiving tight end alongside, a number one receiver like Malik Neighbors, is going to thrive and be even better than he was before. And I know a lot of people play fantasy football. They're always disappointed because you have Isaiah Likely and you're like, man, if he just got the opportunity, if we could just see him get the ball more and not be stuck behind Mark Andrews, a guy that they have to play, he could be this player. And that's what the Giants are betting on.
All right, so there's one thing that you said that gives me pause, and I want to throw it at you. You said, he wants to run the ball. Aren't you kind of taking away the strength of having a quarterback that could be dynamic?
I think he's going to be part of that run game, a big part of that run game.
Well, then he might get a concussion again.
I mean, we can't be scared to run him at all.
Right,
I mean,
but you don't want to run him a lot.
The zone read is part of what he does. I think that's a big part of the offense and what it's going to look like. I don't think you want to run him a lot when you're down 3 scores late in games. That was kind of the debate with Brian Daboll. If you want to go back and look at it, I mean, I was getting texts from people with other teams like, is he just trying to save his job? Like, that was the thing, that he was running Jackson Dart on designed runs down 3 scores in the fourth quarter, like 2 consecutive games, I believe it was, or 2 out of 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where you're like, well, we don't need to run the guy. But no, if we can't completely take away his running part, I mean, that's part of what makes Jackson Dart. If we make him a non-running quarterback altogether,
but he also has a good arm.
Probably an effective quarterback.
Are you taking away his arm if you're going to be a ground and pound team?
Yeah, I don't think that's the right way to phrase it. I mean, when you say run heavy in today's NFL,
right?
What are we talking about? 52-48 to the run? Like, that's huge run.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not talking. There's no more 60-40 in today's NFL. I think a run heavy team is one that's basically close to 50-50 these days, and they're still going to throw the ball out. They're just going to do it out of 2 tight end formations.
Any concern losing Flott and losing Robinson? Obviously, they didn't want to give a slot receiver that kind of money. So, do you think those will be missed?
I do think it will be missed on the cornerback side because they really didn't replace it. They signed Greg Newsome today. He's a little bit of an enigma. Former first-round pick from the Cleveland Browns who went to the Jags last year. But, they'll have to add reinforcements, and I expect them to do more there. Wide receiver, another position. Looks like, they have Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton. I know people don't want to hear that name, Darius Slayton. But those are the only 2 proven receivers really on the high end right now. So, yeah, they'll have to add either later in free agency. I expect more veterans at those 2 positions. But also, this is an incomplete puzzle, and I think you'll see pieces in the draft added. And this is the problem, Michael. Like the Giants they signed 7 players yesterday. Like that's very active.
Right.
And we're still sitting here like they still need to do offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, wide receiver. Well, that's the problem with having as many holes as they did, right? Like why they didn't go 7-27 over the past 2 years because the roster was loaded. No, there's a lot of areas to fill, and it's going to be hard to do it in one full swoop here.
All right, so with what they've done in free agency, you have a clearer picture of what they're going to do with their first pick.
I don't think that the middle linebacker takes him out, even though they signed Micah McFadden today, an inside linebacker, Tremaine Edmonds yesterday. I don't think it takes them out of the Sonny Styles market. I really don't. I think that they're still capable. They have the option and the flexibility to go a lot of different ways in this draft. Like Tremaine Edmonds is not a long-term answer at middle linebacker for them. So I think Sonny Styles is still a possibility. Wide receiver, like we just mentioned, is a possibility. We can maybe cross right tackle off the list, okay?
Because they got
cross offensive tackle. They re-signed Illuminor. You have Andrew Thomas. You're not going to invest in a tackle. So I think that's the only position. And then there's Jeremiah Love. If you have him number 1 on your board, and this will be the dilemma, it's not a bargain financially anymore because a running back at high basically is getting paid near top of the market. But if you look at it and he's your number 1 player on your entire board and you're sitting there 5, or they trade back to 7, 8, 10, whatever it may be, and he's the best offensive weapon in this draft, do you contemplate taking him? I think that is still on the board.
See, it scares me to take a running back high and a safety because for their second contract, you don't give running backs that kind of money. You don't give safety that kind of money. So you're essentially using a draft pick for 4 years. You hope you get great 4 years out of them, but you usually don't sign a second contract, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is part of the risk. I think safety, you could do it with running back. It's not as good a value anymore. The value of the running back is, hey, they're relatively cheap in the first 4 years, right? And you're hoping like when you're younger, you have a better chance to stay healthy at a position where attrition is clearly a problem, right? It's really hard to stay healthy no matter who you are running back. That you're now paying, it's $11.5 million a year for the Giants' 5th pick.
Right.
Well, $11.5 million a year is like top 7 running back money, I think, at this point. So you're not really getting the bargain. I mean, you have a wide receiver in that spot. Jamar Chase is making over $40 million. You're paying your guy $11.5 million. If he ends up being Malik Neighbors, like he was drafted 6, right? Then you're getting a huge bargain. Now you have a huge advantage. You got to, you want to take advantage that you lose that value in drafting a running back that high. So that's the dilemma. It's not whether, can he contribute or is he a good player? Is it worth it because you're not getting a bargain anymore?
All right. From what your intel tells you, Scatterboo and Neighbors, are they both playing the first game?
Scatterboo, yes, which is funny to say that I feel better about him because his foot was facing in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That was an ugly, ugly injury. But you know this. You've been around a while, Michael, even though it's a different sport. Like broken bones, amazingly, are better than ligaments and like so. Especially the knee. I'm a little concerned about Malik Neighbors. I know Joe Shane has said multiple times that he thinks he's trending, that he could be ready for training camp. I'm a little more concerned than probably the Giants are about Malik Neighbors being ready for the start of training camp for sure. I'd bet against that. It just doesn't make sense to have him back by then. And then for the season, the start of the season, I don't feel great about that. I need to see it. I need to see him on the field in training camp this summer, by the way, in West Virginia. Nowhere better. I'd rather spend my summer.
I'll tell you what, the Briarcliff is supposed to be great, though.
I know, but I mean, hey, hon, I'm going to West Virginia for a couple weeks in the middle of the summer, unexpectedly. See ya. I'll be back in 2 weeks. How do you think that went down, Michael?
My wife is from West Virginia, and she jokes that she's one of the few people that still has her teeth. But I shouldn't say that, but we'll see. But it is a beautiful facility that they're going to work out in. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the day. We're going to check in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
I mean, I'm going to be playing golf there for sure, and I'm not going to be, that upset. And my wife, on the other hand.
Well, you know what? You think your wife will miss you. All likely that she won't.
Good point. I mean, I can't argue that one.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Thank you, Jordan.
Hey, thanks, Michael. Speak to you soon.
All right, now we bring in Rich Cimini, who covers the Jets for us here at ESPN. Rich, how you doing?
Good, Michael. We just got breaking news as we're coming on right now. The
What do we
Jets
got?
just traded for Geno Smith. Jets just traded for Geno Smith.
Really? Whoa.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. I'm not in love with that move. How's Rich Cimini feel?
Well, I knew he was coming. It was just a matter. I thought. I think compensation is some really late draft picks. The Jets obviously did not want him to hit. He was going to get cut tomorrow at 4:00, and I thought he was their best option, and they didn't want to take a chance on him. Going somewhere else, because I think Minnesota was also interested in Geno. And so they eliminate that from the equation by making this trade, which means they have to, the downside for the Jets is I think they're going to have to pick up his entire salary this year, which is
a lot.
$18.5 million.
Yeah.
$18.5 million. So instead of paying the 1 point veterans minimum after cutting him, they're going to pay the $18 million out of their pocket unless they restructured the contract. This is happening in real time. So I don't know if they've done that, but it sounds like the Jets are inheriting that contract.
So, I mean, let's just lay it out on the table. He's their starting quarterback, right? That's the way you're seeing it. They're not going to get another quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to be their starter for sure.
Well, I was looking at the numbers. I think in his last 3 years, he has 60 touchdowns, like 42 interceptions. He has not had great seasons. He had that one really good year in Seattle. He was awful in Vegas last year. And the year before with Seattle, he wasn't that great. So what are the Jets getting?
Well, he's led the league in interceptions over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He's had 32, I believe, and it's not even close for a second. So, yeah, I mean, he's the last 2 years have not been great. I know the Jets had good scouting reports on him a little over a year ago, so they're hoping that what contributed to that, it was a dysfunctional situation last year with the Raiders. They fired Chip Kelly in the middle of the year. His pass protection was awful, so the Jets are kind of banking on him getting back to what he was in Seattle. But let's be honest, Michael, they're desperate. I mean, there's no other situation here. There's no other. I mean, they weren't going to get Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray wants to go to Minnesota. So if the Jets didn't get Geno, then they're basically out of luck. So they had to make this is like a marriage of convenience.
Well, you say out of luck. I mean, there are other things. Carson Wentz you could have gone with, who has a relationship with Reich. You could have taken a chance on Kirk Cousins, and it's kind of weird they're going to go with Geno Smith.
Yeah, they're not interested in Cousins, and I think part of that is because Cousins has made it clear he's not interested in the Jets.
Okay.
And yeah, so and the other one was Wentz, and you know what? I still think they can get Wentz. Wentz is a free agent. I think they could sign him as a backup. So I think that's still in play here. We've talked about this a lot. I think the Jets are in such a tough situation because the quarterback that they get this year, and you've proven it by breaking the news right here, Geno Smith is he's kind of mid, so they're not going to win a lot of games. And if they don't win a lot of games, Rich, then the coach is probably not going to be here for year 3. So then what do you do? Yeah, they are. They're threading a needle here, Michael. Because the coach has got to win games. The coach has got to win games this year, and yet the best thing for the long-term health of the organization is to probably get a higher draft pick in 2027. So it is a weird dynamic going on.
And you wonder. I mean, I get this feeling. I ran this by Brian Costello last week, and he kind of agreed. Last year, Rich, when the hirings were done, I thought that Aaron Glenn was the alpha male of the two. I think Muji might have moved past him. I think Muji has been more impressive in his work than Aaron Glenn was.
Yeah, I think Muji's done a better job. I mean, let's face it, you are what your record says you are. So they were 3-14 last year. So let's not throw any bouquets out to anyone.
Right.
But, Muji, I think, has, in my opinion, done a pretty good job with some of these subtle trades that he's made, even this week with Minkah Fitzpatrick. The Geno thing, like I said, it's more of a desperation move. But, and Aaron Glenn's body of work speaks for itself. He was not good last year. And he even admitted on numerous occasions that he has a lot to improve on. And I don't mean to be short with you, Michael, but I have editors who are clamoring for my story right now, so I'm going to have to let
Totally
you go.
understand.
Sorry about that.
Oh, please. Thank you,
All
Rich.
righty.
Thank you for breaking it. We appreciate it. So there, you have a story that you didn't think you're going to have, and I got to tell you, I don't know how everybody within the sound of my voice feels. This leaves me empty. Geno Smith has not been a good quarterback the last couple of years. He is an interception machine. I don't get it. And the time that he was here, it didn't work out. I mean, he stiffed Ike Annapelli, I forget how you pronounce his name, and he got slugged in the face by it. Again, that's a long time ago, different coaches, whatever the case may be. I don't like this move, but as Rich said, they're desperate. They're absolutely desperate. So did they want to start Carson Wentz? He said that Kirk Cousins doesn't want to be here. I guess they had no interest in Garoppolo. Kyler Murray, he's a shorter quarterback, and that doesn't fit with what Frank Reich has historically done, although I have faith in Reich to do what he has to do with the talent that he's given. But Geno Smith, I mean, I wonder what Ira's thinking right now. You can't feel great about it. You cannot feel great about this. I mean, this leaves you empty. This is the best they could do. This is the best they could do. We talked about, Davis Webb and stuff like that, trading for a backup quarterback on a team that's behind a really good quarterback and maybe let him flourish with the Jets. But once again, when you get Geno Smith, everybody, you're giving away another season. And I'm not saying they're tanking, but you're giving away another season. You have a subpar quarterback. And they couldn't even afford to wait for the Raiders to release him, which the Raiders were clearly going to do because they didn't even think that Geno Smith would come play for them. Because if you had waited till he was released by the Raiders, then all you had to do was pay him the minimum, which was $1.3 million. Now you have to absorb the entire $18 million salary. Wow. Leaving me empty, not loving it, not feeling it, not thinking it's that great. Every Jet fan out there has to be like, what? Geno Smith again? Have you read the Sunday Post, I think it was, Mark Cannizzaro, who's been around the Jets forever? He just said, not Geno Smith, anybody but Geno Smith. And again, take a deep dive into the numbers. Take a deep dive into his career. I mean, we look at that one good year that he had in Seattle and think, wow, another quarterback that the Jets fouled up. No. That was one good year. Then he had a bad last year in Seattle, and then Pete Carroll takes him to Vegas, and it was even worse. He leads the league, and as Rich said, nobody's even close in interceptions over the last 2 years. This is the guy you're bringing in. I mean, how much different is he from the quarterbacks that yet last year? Is there anybody out there, as Bruce would say, anybody out there who feels good about this? Any Jet fan who says, yeah, this is what we want. This is what we needed. We needed Geno Smith to come back. Wow. I don't get it. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Let's talk about it. 1-800-919-3776. I'm sure that Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg will be all over this as well when they come on at 3 o'clock. But we've got about a half hour to unpack. Now, speaking of Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, you could see them live from the Irish exit at Moynihan Train Hall Friday, March 13th, before the semifinal round of the Big East Tournament. Stop by before heading into the Garden or before your commute home. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. You love them? Live from the Irish exit at Moynihan Train Hall starting at 3 p.m. Friday, March 13th. Friday the 13th. Just steps away from Madison Square Garden and Penn Station. Brought to you by Schweppes, above the rim refreshment. Feel the madness and refresh your game with a Schweppes Seltzer or Schweppes Ginger Ale. Sam Adams and Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, available at Avenida and the Rutherford. Must be 21 or older to purchase. Please drink responsibly. Help me through this, everyone. Make me understand. Make it make sense to someone who's not that bright. Geno Smith, that's the answer? That's the answer? We'll come back and break it down for the people right here on the K Show, ESPN New York.
50 years from now, will jeans be wide or skinny? Will email still exist? Will guac still be extra? One thing is certain. If you won the new Millionaire for Life from the New Jersey Lottery today, you'd still be getting $1 million every year for life. That's enough money to say, bring it on, the future. I will have that guacamole at any price.
Play the new Millionaire for Life today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Be part of it isn't just a slogan. 2026 season tickets are on sale now, and this is your chance to join the tradition and legacy of the New York Yankees. Purchase a plan and enjoy the best seat locations, significant savings, and flexible payment options. Plans start at just 9 games. Log on to Yankees.com, call 212-YANKEES, or email seasontickets@Yankees.com. For 2026 Yankees season tickets, email seasontickets@Yankees.com today.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Rich Eisen here. For small businesses, every hire counts, and so does your time. Hiring can quickly become overwhelming, from sorting applications to figuring out who's truly qualified. That's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps. It streamlines the process so you can focus on connecting with the right candidates, not managing the noise. Hire right the first time. Post your job and get $100 off towards your job post at linkedin.com/Eisen. That's linkedin.com/Eisen. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
All right, so if you just joined us, we had on Rich Cimini, who covers the Jets for us at ESPN. And he said the Jets have made a trade with the Raiders for Geno Smith. I'm going to call him Geno Smith to be their quarterback. Now, Adam Schefter revealed something that makes it seem a little less onerous, because Rich thought that the Jets were going to have to take the $18 million contract because they traded for him before he was released. But Schefter writes, before the trade was agreed to, Geno Smith agreed to restructure his contract. The Raiders still will pay the bulk of it, and the Jets will take on Smith's contract at just over the veteran minimum. So here's what the Raiders did. They knew they were going to release him. They knew they were going to have to pay the contract anyway. So they agreed to do this. This way they get a draft pick out of it. And they're sending Geno Smith and a 7th-round pick to the Jets in exchange for a 2026 6th-round pick. So they got a 6th-round pick out of it. They moved up from the 7th round to the 6th round, and they're paying Geno Smith's contract except for the minimum portion of it. So it makes sense for the Raiders. I don't think there's any other team in football that would have traded for Geno Smith. Then they would have released him, and they wouldn't have gotten anything for him. And now you move up from a 7th-round pick to a 6th-round pick, and the Jets are going to pick up 1.3 of it. So it makes a little sense it makes a lot of sense because the Raiders have spent a lot of money on free agents, and they're going to draft Fernando Mendoza. So they had no plans for Geno Smith anyway. And now Geno Smith is the Jet quarterback. And, Rich Cimini seemed to think that they still might sign Carson Wentz and have him be the backup. We'll see how it works out. Bold strategy, Cotton. 1-800-919-3776. And let's go to Eric in Nyack. Eric.
Hey, Michael. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I don't feel that much better after you saying Geno restructuring the contract, but it makes me feel a little bit better not knowing that we don't really have to take on that bulk of a contract when he comes over here.
But he's your starting quarterback, though.
Yeah, no, I'm still very much upset. It honestly seems like a Groundhog Day fever dream every year being a Jets fan. And, my parents, unfortunately, made me grow up being a Jets fan, so it's kind of hard to leave them having known they're my only team for basically my entire life. But I just think that, if they have another losing season, like you said, Aaron Glenn is out the door. And it's not a good look for us, per se. There really wasn't any other quarterback besides Kyler Murray. Tua went to Atlanta. But I just don't know what the real plan is for the future. If they want to draft another quarterback next season, they can try and do that. But it just feels like a fever dream almost. Like we thought we had all this.
It's a fever, and I understand what you're saying, and you have to be careful about saying, okay, I'm not going to root for them anymore because you'll back out, and then the year that you back out, they have the year that everybody's been waiting for 15, 16 years. But they put themselves in a professional rock and a hard place because they've improved the team. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a good pickup for them. They made some smart signings, improving on the margins. So if that gets them to 5 or 6 wins, it doesn't get them the first round. It doesn't get them the number 1 pick. And I laugh at people. I laugh at them. Laugh when they say, "Well, the Jets have 3 first-round draft picks, so they'll just trade up to get the number 1 pick and get the top quarterback." They have the 2nd pick in the draft, and they're not able to get up to the 1st pick this year. 2nd pick, they can't jump to the 1st pick because here's the problem. The team that gets the 1st pick is probably a team that needs a quarterback. And they're not trading the possibility of whoever Dante Moore or Arch Manning, whoever the quarterback is going to be. They're not trading that guy. Just like the Raiders are not trading Fernando Mendoza. So either you finish with the worst record and have a chance at the pick of the quarterback you want, or you finish somewhere with 5 or 6 wins, which puts you, 7th or 8th pick? I don't care how many first-round draft picks. If somebody doesn't want to trade with you, they're not trading with you. They're not giving you that pick, no matter how much draft capital you give them, because quarterbacks are sacrosanct when it comes to building a team. And Aaron Glenn also knows if they tank this year to get that number 1 pick, he's gone. He's never going to enjoy that quarterback. So they're threading a needle, as Rich said, where they'd like to win 6 or 7 games, which will pull them further away from getting the number 1 pick to get that first pick. They're in an unenviable situation, and they can't get a quarterback. And if you're a quarterback that becomes a free agent, usually doesn't happen. Are you coming to the Jets with the history they have, how they destroy quarterbacks? Are you? No, you're not. And Geno Smith, what does he make the Jets? What does he make them? I feel sorry for Jet fans. I really do. I really do. Let's go to Mike in Scotch Plains. Hello, Mike.
So, Mike, here's the one. What's going on, brother? Here's the one thing I wanted to talk about. in all this quarterback conversation with the Jets over the last 2 weeks or so,
right,
every name in the world has been mentioned except for Marcus Mariota. I don't understand why the Jets were not in the running for Marcus Mariota. He signed a one-year deal with Washington for $7 million. He was the best kind of okay quarterback on the market that the Jets were going to target. And I have no idea why he wasn't in the mix at all. And then they turn around and do this stupid deal with Geno Smith. Even if they were able to get the Raiders to eat the money, it's still not a better scenario than paying Marcus Mariota $8 million for 1 year. He's going to get you the same 6 or 7 wins, and without all the Geno Smith baggage. I just don't understand why he wasn't part of the conversation ever. His name never came up on your show, on Bart's show, on the Boys in the Morning. Never, ever came up. I don't understand it. It makes me nuts.
Well, again, unless we're like privy to what went on behind the scenes, maybe they were interested. Maybe he rebuffed them. Maybe he'd rather be the backup in Washington. I don't know. Or maybe the Jets just said we'd rather have Geno Smith than Marcus Mariota. And again, they've got a lot of holes to fill, and they have a lot of cap. I think they had the 4th most cap space before free agency began. So they look at it this way. If Mariota took $7 or $8 million on a 1-year deal, that's all on the cap. Well, Geno Smith is going to count 1.3. And maybe they weighed the fact, well, is he going to get us that many more wins? Again, these are things that they obviously go through, and they talk with Reich, who thinks he could work with better. But just in terms of production, Geno Smith has not been productive the last couple of years. He just has not been. Let's go to a limo driver, Ed. What's up, limo driver?
Hey, long time listener, Mr. K. First time caller. Brother.
Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Listen, Geno did very well in 24. He had over 4,000 yards.
Right.
Okay. Right now, our team knows. What about Justin Fields? Who's paying him? We still got him. So we still got to pay him. So you can't go out and get all these players and all these quarterbacks if we're going to see what we're going to do. If that's what was out here, yeah, definitely. We would have to get him because, everybody else is going to cost you a little bit more money, And like I said, hey, Kyler Murray, the guy don't even get underneath the center. I don't want him. So that's a mood thing. And why people say they don't understand, well, this is what you got to do. And like you just said, we have a 1.6 instead of a $7 million hit on the cap, even though we got money. But we have a lot of things and a lot of players we got to get. It takes time. Rome wasn't built in one day. All right?
But I'll tell you what, Ed, Jet fans have really given a lot of time. It's 15 years now.
Hey, 15. I've been waiting since 1969 for a Super Bowl. I love Joe Namath. Okay? I'm a diehard. I'm 63 years old, man. I don't want to go to the grave without seeing a Super Bowl. But this is the first time our organization is finally getting things together and we're getting the right people in there. It doesn't make a difference, but at least we're trying. It's better than what we did in the past few years.
But, Ed, they were trying last year, and the quarterback that they came up with was Justin Fields. So are we really trusting them? It's the same people making the decisions, except you have Frank Reich in there, obviously giving his take, but it's still Glenn and Muji. They bet the house on Justin Fields, and Justin Fields, as Mike Lupica said last Wednesday, sometimes I wonder if he throws with the right hand. That's how bad Justin Fields was. And they looked at him and said, yeah, this is the guy we want. You talked about the year he had in 2024. The Seahawks didn't want him back. They didn't want him back. They'd rather have Sam Darnold. And then he goes to the Lakers and had he goes to the Raiders and had an unbelievably bad year. Unbelievably bad. Again, they're working on the margins, but they haven't really improved. Is Geno going to be all that different than what they had last year? He can throw the ball, but he can throw it away. 40 interceptions in 2 years is just unbelievable. That's a lot of interceptions. That's in 3 years. But he's led the league in interceptions the last 2 with 30, and nobody's even close. Let's go to Anthony in Tom's River. Anthony.
Michael, how are you? Good to talk to you.
Well, how you doing, Ant?
Good. It's always good talking to you, Michael. I miss your show. I was down in Florida for a little while for work, and I was working. It's another story, 12-hour days, and I'm glad to be back.
Glad to have you back.
Yeah. I remember we had a discussion, you and I, a bunch of us did, about the firing of the Jets head coach, and we were going to give him some breathing room because he did have he was a great football player, blah, 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 blah. But how much time do you think he has left, really, if this Geno Smith thing doesn't work out?
This is it. I don't care if he has
too.
3 more years left on his deal. Anthony, he's got to win games. That's why it puts him in a bad situation. Yeah. The coach has to win games to keep his job, and if they win enough games, they have no chance to get the quarterback that they desperately need.
Right. One quick other thing about the NBA, the Knicks. With Tatum coming back and Boston's on fire, how far do you see the Knicks going, in your opinion?
Well, I said at the beginning of the show, and I'll stick with it, Anthony. They could beat anybody. They could be the NBA titleist, and they could lose in the first round. They're a very frustrating team to try to figure out. I mean, you see what they did against Denver, world beaters. They beat Denver in Denver by 39 points. Then they get slapped around by the Lakers, and they get slapped around the next day by the Clippers. I don't know what team is going to show up, because if they show up and play to the best of their ability, they can win an NBA championship. Are they able to do that over all these 7-game series? Are they? Time's going to tell. Because when the 3-point shot is not falling, they're a different team. And when they're not playing defense, and for about more than a quarter of a season now, they've been the best defensive team in the NBA, according to metrics. But not against the Lakers. They were terrible. Then they turned the ball over yesterday. So do I think they can win a championship? Yes, I do. I'm not going to move off of that. But I also think they could lose in the first round. That's how frustrating they are. They're not a monolith sort of team that's going to run over people, like over-talent people. They've got nice players. They've got stars in Brunson and Cat. And they've got people that do unbelievable jobs defensively, like OG, Josh Hart, the dirty work. I get all of that. And when they're clicking and could beat anybody. But when they're not clicking, they could lose to anybody. Remember, this is a team that lost to Indiana, a team that's tanking. Hey, get ready for Pickleball Madness, Friday, March 20th, ESPN New York, taking over Pickleball Heaven. That's in Medford, New York. Catch a live broadcast of DiPietro and Rothenberg starting at 6 a.m., then stick around for our social ladder pickleball tournament. They'll crown the champions. Then they'll roll right into a college hoops watch party to cap off the day. Sounds like a good day. And to spend all that time with Rick, what a glorious, glorious time. Sign up now on the ESPN New York app. Spots are limited. Pickleball Madness, brought to you by Pickleball Heaven, the new standard of indoor pickleball. Geno Smith is back with the Jets, where he started his career in 2013. Everything old is new again. We'll finish it up with more of your phone calls until 3 o'clock. At that time, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg will get their take on what this move means to them. The K Show on ESPN New York.
25 a month, 5 whole years. Same sweet number in your ears. Check it in a year, check it in 5. This ain't optimum 5, but price is still alive. 25 a month, 5 whole years. Same sweet number in your ears. Get Optimum famously fast fiber internet. Optimum.com/25 for 5. Or call 8884-OPTIMUM. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The NBA moves fast, and the stars move faster. With DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, you're never a step behind. DraftKings keeps pace with every play, offering industry-leading live betting, dynamic odds that shift as the game unfolds, and more open markets more often. They're live when others aren't, so you're always in the game when it matters most. Get in on the action with live player props as the most exciting performances unfold in real time. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WHSQ. That's code WHSQ. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problems gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
It's tournament time when the most talented teams survive and advance. And whether you're cutting down the nets or cutting through resumes, one thing's clear. The best teams are built with the best people. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. Their smart matching technology finds qualified candidates fast. You can add screening questions to get the right applicants and even filter to see who's recently active. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Smalls here. Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your 6 figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, they've seen it all. And they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
Join ESPN New York for a huge rivalry night at the Contenders Italian Village in Caldwell, New Jersey. Play-by-play voice of the Devils, Don LaGreca.
What a pitchfork in this one!
And the Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg show are taking over for a special live broadcast and Devils vs. Rangers watch party on Wednesday, March 18th. Join the guys starting at 3 p.m. for a special happy hour and broadcast. Then stick around for the 7 p.m. puck drop with big screens, great food, and the best fans in hockey all under one roof. Reservations are recommended. Brought to you by Calandra's Italian Village.
So we've talked about the Arozarena Raleigh stuff, and the Mariners manager, Scott Service, was asked if he's concerned about it. He said no, he'll talk with them when they get back, but he's not concerned. Well, I mean, what do you want him to say? Oh, yes, I'm very concerned. That is really concerning. I think it's really going to derail our team. It's not going to derail the team. What it's going to do is it's going to cause uncomfortable moments, which were unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. Don't get it. Don't get it. So I went to a big dinner yesterday at the Plaza Hotel, the Broadcasters Foundation of America dinner. They do unbelievable work. Anybody that has ever worked in broadcasting, whether producer, an engineer, a call screener, behind the scenes, cameraman, key grip, whatever, even people on the air, if they fall into hard times, the Broadcasters Foundation of America helps them out, helps them with medical bills, helps them pay rent. It's really a great, great organization. And Stephen A. Smith was honored. And I'm amazed by my colleague. I really am. He got up there and he spoke extemporaneously for 21 straight minutes. No prompter. Everybody else had prompters. He's just talking off the cuff. 21 straight minutes without even stumbling once. He's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. Now, one side note. So I'm sitting there with my wife, and there's a woman that's near our table, and Jody says to me, isn't that Christine Taylor, who's Ben Stiller's wife, who played Marcia in the Brady Bunch movie and had a big role in Dodgeball? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't see Ben Stiller. She goes, I think it's her. I'm 95% sure. And I found out later it was her. And I got to tell you something. and I'm not being that guy. So you see her in movies, right? And everybody in movies is fairly good looking. No, there are certainly exceptions, but she is absolutely stunning in person. Like breathtakingly gorgeous. Like you look at her and you go, wow. Like just wow how pretty she is. Don't know why I'm telling you that. I just think it's information that you need. But a great, great night at the Broadcasters Foundation of America. Judge Judy won the Icon Award, which was nice to hear her get that. So good night and all. And our former boss here at ESPN Radio, Tim McCarthy, is now one of the head guys at the BFOA and did an unbelievable job putting on a great, great show. So congratulations to all the winners, and they do unbelievable work. They really do. Imagine somebody falls on hard times, can't pay bills. And it doesn't matter if you're front-facing, if you're quote-unquote one of the stars. It could be somebody that you never heard of. If you worked in radio or TV, they will help you out. They'll help you out. Let's go back to the phone calls. Let's go to Matt in New Jersey. Matt.
Hey there, Michael. Thanks for taking the call. And I don't know how I follow up Christine Taylor, but, this move by the Jets, this makes it even worse. This move by the Jets is just a slap in the face to Jets fans. It's them telling you that we're going to tank another year. We're looking for those top draft picks. They know Geno's really not going to do much. They're wasting another year of Garrett Wilson. And I'm going to take a step further. Arch Manning, Dante Moore, I don't care who you're drafting. There's no magic pill that makes this team a Super Bowl contender. You're looking at least 2-3 years to bring a quarterback along. What they needed to do was get a guy like Kyler Murray, someone who's incrementally going to help this team get better. And I'll leave you with this. Kyler Murray, you look at his stats through where he is with his career. He has better career numbers than Drew Brees. He has better career numbers than Baker Mayfield. And he's just waiting for that. He's another guy who's had a ton of turmoil with offensive coordinators. You put him with a guy like Reich with real receiver options like Garrett Wilson, and maybe this team takes a step towards respectability. But
Matt, let me throw this at you. You said they're tanking, but Matt, if they tank, Aaron Glenn's gone. He can't tank. That puts them in this uncomfortable situation. They're trying to patch up the leaks in the boat, and they're trying to win 6 or 7 games, and that doesn't help them. You're right. Tanking would help them, but this doesn't help them because they can't afford to tank. The head coach will be fired.
It's hard to say. It's just I don't even know how you retread Geno Smith and sell it to your fans as, hey, invest money in this program, because we clearly don't have a clue what we're doing, and just bringing back Geno Smith, and it just as a Jets fan, I don't know how you get on board and root for this team another year and have any confidence that they're going to figure it out. You're looking at 20 years without making the playoffs with this move.
It's unbelievable, Matt.
I'm sorry, it is.
It's unbelievable, and you saw last year there are a lot of empty seats. So I think Jet fans. Here's what football has to realize now. You don't have to continue to buy season tickets, because if you do, you in the past you used to continue to buy season tickets because you were afraid, well, the team is going to turn around, then I'm not going to have the tickets. You're always going to have tickets now on the secondary market, and you don't have to go see lousy games, and you don't have to see a lousy team. So Jet fans probably will say, I don't want the season ticket, and if they suddenly get good, I'll pay the premium price on the secondary market. I'll get in, and they will. The world has changed. All those years where the Giants were terrible, they were flying planes, over the Meadowlands. You think, that cost them money? No, because they had a 40,000 seat waiting list for season tickets, because people were afraid that when the Giants turned the corner, they wouldn't be able to get tickets. Now, it's not the same. You can. You're going to see a lot of empty seats. It's hard for the Jets to sell this and go, yeah, we're going for it. Now, Geno Smith started his career with the Jets, 2013, spent his first 4 years there, didn't work out, and Adam Schefter unearthed the old quote from Geno. He said, they wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. Well, he's right back where he started. Let's see how he does with this team. Let's go to Ed in Northport. He actually likes to move. Ed?
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of few, but
yeah, tell me why.
I want to make a couple of points. I always like to bring up Matthew Schaefer, obviously legend, but let's talk about Geno Smith. I think this move is a good move. They're picking him up for the veteran minimum. They have a great offensive line that's only going to get better with with Myers coming back off injury. They have a 1,000-yard back. They have a 1,000-yard receiver. They have a tight end who's young and blossoming. If we can keep him upright, I don't see why he can't be a competent quarterback. Everyone's Justin Fields. Listen, Justin Fields couldn't throw the ball. Geno Smith completed a high percentage of passes last year while leading the league in sacks. So if we can keep him upright, I don't see why this can't be a functioning offense. Also, people, we could have got Mariota. He didn't want to leave Washington. We could have signed Malik Willis. Off of 3-4 starts? I don't know about that. Trubisky, he wasn't coming here. Kyler Murray's not coming here. This was the best option available. A competent quarterback that has had Pro Bowls, has had success, has made the playoffs. I know this is not what everyone wants to hear, but I think this move is actually not a bad move. And especially pair him up with Frank Reich, I think it could be a decent move. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but competent play, I think they could have some competent play at the quarterback position.
The thing I would agree with you on, Ed, is that they had no other options. I mean, nobody's running to play for the Jets. Kyler Murray didn't want to play for the Jets. Tua doesn't want to play in cold weather, so he goes to Atlanta, where he's going to be playing in a dome, and that might be the best thing for him with a really smart offensive mind and Kevin Stefanski. The Jets did what was available to them, and frankly, it's not that great. You keep saying, he did a pretty good job with the last 2 years. He's led the NFL by a lot in interceptions, so he's a turnover machine, and it didn't work out here the first time. Now, everything is different except for the owner. Everything is different. I'll give you that. Let's see, because this front office and this coach signed off on a quarterback last year that couldn't play. Now they're signing off on this quarterback. Yeah, Geno can throw. Let's see what he does. It's a fascinating move. I'm sure Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, they're going to break it down for you as well, have their own opinions on this one. So stick around for them. I'll be back with you again tomorrow at 1, and at 2:30 tomorrow we talk to Mike Lupica because it's Wednesday, and that's what we do. And we'll continue to break down the Geno Smith trade for the Jets. They have a quarterback. Not that many people, except for Ed, seem that happy with it. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital,